Welcome back to Scotty Movies, everyone. Today we're talking about a movie that you may not have heard of, but it's received sort of like a cult status since its release, but mainly for its kind of whimsical um, setting. It's kind of quirky characters, and especially its soundtrack. We're talking about a movie called Baghdad Cafe. For those wondering, it's not set in Iraq. It's not Baghdad, Iraq. It's actually set in a little tiny town called Baghdad, New Mexico, on the border of Mexico itself. And so it's this rundown inn and um, kind of truck stop, really, and struggling restaurant there for truckers and drifters and things like that to find. And so we're going to talk about Baghdad Cafe. Again, known for its quirky charm, its soundtrack, especially its song "Calling You," written by Bob Telson, nominated for an Academy Award that year. So we'll talk about this movie, how it progresses, the characters involved, the acting, and whether or not it sticks the landing. So let's get into it. First of all, let me start with a synopsis of Baghdad Cafe, and I'm going to read this. It's set in a rundown little cafe and motel, once again out on the Mojave Desert in New Mexico. It starts with Jasmin, a German tourist played by Marianne Sajbrecht. She's suddenly left behind by her husband after a roadside argument. She finds her way to this dusty, remote stop called the Baghdad Cafe, run by a tough, no nonsense woman named Brenda, played by CCH Pounder. From there, the movie becomes a slow, offbeat meditation on how Jasmine's presence begins to change the people there, people at the Baghdad Cafe, as well as the environment surrounding it, particularly Brenda. There's a little magic, a lot of oddball characters, and a slow burn romance with a local artist named Rudy, played by Jack Palance. So, let me say up front that there are definitely some really beautiful things about Baghdad Cafe. The setting is visually striking. Once again, it's this rundown place. There's a sense of this isolation that's really well captured within the movie. It's a wide open desert scene, barren nothingness surrounding it. And we never see outside of the Baghdad Cafe. We don't see what goes on in Albuquerque, however far away that is. We don't even see what happens in the bordering town, the bordering highway. The entire movie is set within uh, this motel, diner, truck stop kind of place. And so it really gives you a sense of isolation because you see nothing of the outside world. Uh, Cinematography makes you feel the heat of this place. You think it's in the dead of summer because it feels like that on the scene, how everyone's sweating and everything like that, and eventually the warmth that's supposed to creep in. The soundtrack is genuinely lovely. The theme song "Calling You" really does a lot of the heavy lifting. It's a pretty powerful song. Unfortunately, the film doesn't quite pull off this emotional transformation that it tries to enact the whole film. One of the biggest issues is how fast everything seems to change. I don't know if it's an issue with uh, them having to cut the movie down so it met some kind of studio in um, studio timeline that they set for the producers. I don't know if it was that. I don't know if it was a storyline or the screenplay or whatever it was, the editing maybe. I don't know, but whatever it was, it went by so fast. All of At the very beginning, you get Brenda, played by CCH Pounder, who's genuinely pretty nasty person when this movie starts. She's got presence, played by CCH Pounder again. Really, really kind of a down on her luck, beaten up but feisty woman. Her character arc is kind of all over the place. She starts off extremely hostile toward Jasmine, the character played by Marianne Sajbrecht, to the point where it's pretty uncomfortable. I mean, um, she's kind of nasty towards most of the people that she comes in contact with, including her husband, who is in the movie at the very beginning, and she kicks him out, probably warranted, but still, it's she's really nasty to just about everyone. And then after Jasmine sets sets her pace going to make friends with people, to transform this dirty, nasty kind of horrible truck stop into a place where people can come, the community can come rally and sing and dance and really be lively. That's the story that we're getting here. But CCH Pounder's Brenda goes from this nasty character to this lively, wonderful, kind character. All of a sudden, she's best friends with her. Uh, it just it's just too abrupt. I kept waiting for some kind of turning point or some kind of explanation as to some kind of conversation as to why she suddenly did this about face, other than she's supposed to because the screenplay demands it, because that's what the story is. But I didn't believe it. I didn't feel it. There wasn't enough evidence to suggest that she would have made that drastic of a turnaround, based on the evidence that we're given for this movie. So it never really comes, that understanding, and that makes her transformation feel forced by the screenplay, and that's the worst kind of thing in movies, where the screenplay makes something happen without a logical reason behind it. Uh, Again, Jasmine shows up and she transforms this horrible place into a real lively, welcoming place. There's not really a struggle involved. We don't see the how. She does it. We don't see the why behind it. It just kind of happens. It's like the film skips over the middle of the story, where the part where the characters wrestle with each other and themselves to really get to the good stuff. Because of that, the big emotional beats don't feel earned. The Brenda's transformation isn't earned, and she's the character that changes, and so that's the character that we needed to see the story from. And unfortunately, it shows it more from Jasmine's point of view, and she's a stagnant character. She doesn't change, and so you either, as the filmmakers, you either needed to show it from Brenda's perspective, the character that changes, or you need to have Jasmine go through a similar kind of um, character evolution, and she doesn't do that, and so that's a problem with this movie. On the flip side, there's a really good relationship in this movie between Jasmine and Rudy, who I mentioned earlier, played by Jack Palance. He brings this gentle, almost poetic sense of energy to the role. He plays a former movie stuntman, I think, or set designer, I think, and and he paints her. He wants to use the his talents in painting, and he sees this beautiful woman behind a facade that maybe a lot of people wouldn't find beautiful. She's not a a movie star looks kind of person, but he sees the warmness and the beauty inside her, and he brings it out in his paintings, and it really loosens her up a little bit more, and allows her to give more warmth to the characters. That relationship between Rudy and Jasmine is really well done. They have quiet conversations. They really start to open up to each other. It's subtle, and it's an honest. It's honestly kind of beautiful. It's a part of the film that really does feel earned, and it's missing elsewhere in the film. I wanted to see that kind of relationship, although obviously different, between Jasmine and Brenda, the friendship that wasn't explained in the movie. I wanted to see that kind of relationship. So here's where I land with Baghdad Cafe. It's not a bad movie. It's got style, it's got substance, it's got heart, it's got a few moments of real emotional resonance. But as a whole, it doesn't come together the way that it needs to. Pacing is a little uneven because it has a good setup and then it rushes through the middle to get to the really good end, minus the one good character building between Rudy and Jasmine. The character arcs kind of feel undercooked. What should be a story of meaningful transformation ends up just kind of a rough sketch of what could have been. That being said, I get why some people are drawn to it. There's this quiet oddball charm. Every character is kind of an oddball, off the beaten path. Jasmine, Brenda, Rudy, the other characters that kind of show up as um, oddball characters. Again, I'm just going to use that word. Uh, it might still hit the right note for people who are in the mood for a quirky little comedy, drama, romance. But again, for me, just didn't hit the right notes that it needed to. It's more style than substance. It's a movie with flashes of brilliance that never quite managed to string them together into something whole. So, what am I giving Baghdad Cafe as far as a rating goes? Uh, I'm probably going to give it. Sorry, I have to think about it for a second. Um, I'm going to give it a C. uh, just average because there's a lot of really good things and there's a lot of things that could have been improved. And so a flat C probably does it justice. Let me know if you have seen it and you feel differently, whether it should be an A or an F or whatever you feel if you've seen it before. Other than that, until next time, stay curious. Keep watching those hidden gems of movies that can pop up sometimes. Let me know what I should review. Like, subscribe, do all those kind of things. Until next time, keep watching movies.